What's up, you guys? It's your girl Didi, and I'm back again with another freaking video. So it's a Vlogmas, and as you can see, I got my Christmas decorations up. I'm a reindeer today. I got my green on, my lights, Christmas nails. It's Vlogmas, and I'm doing this thing, yeah.
And that's a period.
Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna tell you guys the story of basically my trip to Miami and how it was basically a whole show and a whole mess, and it was ruined by my ex. I have a vlog on my channel, go look at it. It's when I went to Miami. This happened like 2 years ago, right? And this is a trip that me and my cousin had planned. It was just supposed to be the two of us and two of her friends. It was supposed to be a whole girls trip. Get it? Girls trip. I remember my cousin had came to me months before. I think it was like 2 or 3 months before. And she's like, hey girl, I'm planning on going to Miami and with a couple of my friends, and I want you to come with us. And I was like, okay, bet. Like, yeah.
Let's go.
I needed a trip. It had been so long since I've been on a trip. So I told her, yeah. So that whole month I just kept saving. The ticket was like, it wasn't much. It was like, cause this was like after COVID, and after COVID, the tickets for flights was cheap. Tickets was so cheap. So I was like, yeah, let me get on this and get a ticket right now. The tickets was like $200. Like 2 weeks, I got the money to get my ticket. Before I booked my ticket, this was the time when I was with, ooh, what am I gonna call him? What's burning?
What should I, what? Is this done or what?
Hold on. We're gonna name him Buster. To describe this guy, like, honestly, when we first started dating, like, it was good. Mind you, I dated this guy for 2 years. Halfway through the first year, he started showing like his real true colors, like weird. He would do weird things to like control me, basically. Like he wouldn't want me wearing certain stuff, and then anytime I wanted to like hang out with my friends, he would have a problem with it. Literally, this is like has started like 6 months in, right? I didn't think it was cute, but I thought it was like, oh, you know, like he's just saying like he wanted to spend time with me. Like I didn't think of it as like, oh, you're being controlling, you're being like too much. He used to always say, oh, you hang out with your friends too much. You hang out with your friends too much. You never hang out with me.
Stop the cap.
And I'm like, mind you, I saw this man every weekend. Every single weekend I saw him. So I don't know why he ever thought that I wasn't giving him no attention. Like, if anything, I saw my friends less and less and less. Obviously, red flag, but my dumb ass didn't catch it for whatever reason. I was 22. Yeah, I was 22 when I met him. I feel like I'm all over the place, but that's my ADHD brain. So I want to explain to you guys how I met this guy. So I met this guy through my friend. So I met Buster through Rolly. And Rolly was one of my good friends from school. So basically this is when I was gonna go on the trip, was like 2 years into our relationship. Told Buster, I was like, hey, so my cousin, they're going on this trip and she really wants me to go. And yeah, so, and I haven't seen her in a long time, so I'm gonna go. So immediately his reaction was not good. Like the way he reacted was like, Miami is dangerous. Oh, there's all this stuff, like there's all these gangs out there, like they have human trafficking, blah blah blah. Like, no, you shouldn't go, you shouldn't go. And I'm like, well, I'm going with my cousin, like I'm not gonna be there alone, right? And I'm telling him this, and he's like, it doesn't matter what I say. He's just like, oh no, I don't think you should go. Like, and plus that's a lot of money. Like, where are you gonna get all this money to go and blah blah blah. The trip's not for another couple months. Like, I can save up so I can have some like spending money, right? And he's like, oh well, I just don't think it's safe. Like, you shouldn't go. Like, and like, why are you always going with your friends? Like, and your cousin? Like, you just seen her last year. Last year. Like, I seen her last year. Like, I only see her once a year. So for you to say like, oh, don't go on this trip, you just seen her last year, like, that don't even make sense. Like, I barely see her, so there's no reason for me not to go. So literally he gets so mad to the point where he just stops talking to me. Like, he won't respond to my texts. He won't do none of that. He used to do this shit where he would like pout and like just not talk to me or whatever. I'm hitting him up like every so often. I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, hey, you okay? Hey, can we talk about this? Blah blah blah. Forgot to add, then he goes to my mom, and my mom is already overprotective of me. He goes to her and he's telling her, oh, do you know your daughter's trying to go to Miami with her cousin, and yo, Miami's dangerous. Miami's got gangs. Miami's got human trafficking. Like, that's not safe for her to go, blah, blah, blah. And mind you, this would have been all cool if he actually cared, which he did. But he had another motive. Like, he just didn't want me to go. Like, he was jealous. Like, I don't know what it was, but he just didn't want me to experience no fun, like, at all. Like, he just wanted me to just be like up under him all the time. So of course my mom is going to me and like, oh, you're not going. Mind you, I'm like 23 at this point. I'm 23. They're both telling me, oh yeah, you shouldn't go. Yeah, like, that's not safe. Like, you've never been on a flight by yourself. Which was cap, because I had definitely been on a flight before when I went to Atlanta to see my cousin 2 years prior. How am I supposed to know what to do if I don't do it? Like, if I don't experience something, how am I supposed to learn and like experience stuff? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, if anything, I can call my cousin once before I get on the plane, and after I get off the plane, she can tell me where to go and all that. And literally, it was like talking to a wall. Like, talking to both of them, it was like talking to a wall. And then my grandma gets in it. And my mom tells my grandma, oh, do you know your granddaughter's trying to tally-ho over to Miami? I'm like, y'all act like I'm finna move out there or something. Or I'm finna like stay there for weeks. Like, it was only 3 days I was going. 3 freaking days. Like, y'all are tripping. Like, please chill out.
Child. Anyway, so
I'm texting my cousin. I'm like, yo, they're giving me hell over here. Like, they won't let me freaking live my life. And I'm like, Buster's over here convincing my family that I shouldn't go on this trip. And I'm like, I'm going regardless.
and that's on period.
Because I already paid my flight ticket. I already got all these outfits that I was ready to wear. I was ready to look cute in Miami. He probably thought I was gonna be on the beach with my buns out, like, and he felt some type of way about it. And I get it, because I would feel the same way, but it's like I was gonna call him every day. I was gonna, keep in contact with him. It wasn't like I was just gonna go on this trip and go ghost and not text him. After all of this and all of this shit and all of this back and forth, I finally go to my mom. I have an idea, and I go to my mom and I go to Buster, and I'm like, well, what if he went with me then? My big ass mouth, like, I should have never suggested that. And in the end, I completely regretted saying that. Like, would that work for y'all? Like, if he went with me, would you be cool with this? She's like, well, yeah, like, that would work. Like, then I wouldn't be worried. I actually mentioned it earlier. He was like, hey, like, if I go with you on the trip, I would feel better, but I don't want you going by yourself. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. Mind you, he really didn't care about that. Like, he just didn't want me going on this trip, period. He really just tried to talk me out of going all together. Like, he just didn't want me going. My mom's like, okay, if he goes, that's fine. But I don't want you going by yourself. So I'm like, okay, bet. So Buster gets his ticket, right? But he doesn't know how to book his ticket online. So he basically sends me the money and then I get his ticket online. My cousin had an Airbnb for us to stay in. It was just for the girls. It was just for us. And my cousin was not comfortable with him being in the Airbnb with all 4 of us girls, which I get because she doesn't know him. So I also told Buster, before you get this ticket, like, hey, you're also gonna have to get a hotel because you can't stay in the Airbnb with us. So then he starts tripping. He's like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, why can't I stay in there if there's enough beds, blah, 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 blah. And mind you, there actually wasn't enough beds. Either you go and get a hotel so you can stay there, or you just can't go on the trip. Like, it's either, like, there's only 2 options. He's like, well, damn, now I gotta spend extra money on this and I gotta spend extra money on that. I'm like, you don't have to go. Like, it's fine. Like, he got the ticket and he booked the room. But literally through the whole thing, he was complaining the whole time. You know, like, he loved to pick arguments. He loved to pick arguments over dumb shit, like really dumb shit. And I'm like, yeah, yo, I'm thinking, yo, in my head, like, are you gonna be like this on the trip? Like, are you gonna, like, just be picking fights out of nowhere just because you want to, like, ruin the vibe? I tried to find the cheapest room because he was, like, complaining about it. So I found a Red Roof Inn. And this is, I don't know a lot about hotels and shit, but I didn't know this until after I booked the room. Apparently Red Roof Inns are like the worst hotel you could ever book. Like, they're like the filthiest, they're like the dirtiest, and that's why they're so damn cheap. So I didn't know that, because I saw on there, I saw 4 stars. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, it's gonna be cool. It's not a 5-star hotel, but it's nice. It's a nice 4-star hotel. The flight and the hotel was not cheap because you're booking 4 weeks before we leave. So his flight was like $400. I'm so excited. Like, because I had not been on a vacation in so long. Like, I was just excited. I'm like, dang, I'm about to go to Miami. I've never been to Miami. I bought new luggage. I bought a bunch of cute ass outfits. Like, I was so ready and so excited. I had to keep my excitement down, like, around him, because it's like he really didn't with the whole idea of us going. So I really just, you know, was being excited with my cousin and not really being excited around him. Like 2 weeks before the trip, he's giving me weird energy. He's like, and mind you, he was scared to fly. He really didn't want to fly. I remember him telling me, it was like 2 weeks before the trip, he's like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with flying. He just kept complaining about the flight, but he didn't want to tell me that he was actually scared to fly, because, you know, he's a dude and he didn't want to, like, I guess, show me that he was scared to fly or whatever. I ended up asking him, I was like, well, are you scared to fly? Because I am too. Like, honestly, I'm not good with planes. Like, I'm just explaining this to him. I'm like, it's a 2-hour flight. It's gonna go by like super fast. Like, it's gonna be fine. Like, it's gonna be chill. Like, all you do is listen to your music, watch a movie, whatever, and before you know it, we're there. So we get to the day of the trip, right? Got up at like 5 a.m. and I already had my bags packed and he was already ready. Me and my cousin and her 2 friends were in a group chat where we already had like excursions booked. Like, we were gonna go jet skiing, we were gonna go speed boating. Like, there was some museum that we could go to. I told her for sure that I was gonna do the jet skiing and the speedboat with them, right? And this is what everybody should do. Anytime like you're going with friends, tell your other friends like your money situation. Like, always tell them straight up. Don't lie, don't front like you got it if you don't. I already told my cousin, I was like, hey, like, I have this amount of money, which was a pretty good amount. I came in with like, I think I had like $800 altogether that I knew I could spend. This was for like the money for the room, the excursions, all that. $800 was like my whole vacation budget. My mom basically takes me and then picks up Buster and we head to the airport. The whole ride there, Buster is just quiet.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Like, he's not talking to me. I don't know what his issue is, but he's just not talking to me, right? So we get to the airport and we're there like a good hour and a half before our flight leaves, which I was so glad about. He drops us off at like where you go in for baggage, not baggage claim, but to get your bags loaded on the plane or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but we go to that area. That's when I find out that my bag was too big to go on the plane as a carry-on. So I'm like, okay, great. Like, okay, whatever. So I had to pay to have my bag on the flight. Buster, he had like a backpack and he had to pay for that to get on. So we get up there to the thing, and when they tell him that he has to pay for his backpack, he's like, what? Like, why do I have to pay for my backpack? Like, it's not that big. There's not a whole lot of stuff in here. Like, and he's like basically making a whole scene. I'm like, yo, can we please just like get to the plane? Like, please don't get us kicked out. Like, cause he's making a scene. Eventually he calms down and he's like, okay, whatever, let's just get on this effing plane. Like, I'm just giving this energy, like, bro, like, if you're gonna have this energy, like, while we're on this vacation, I really don't want you around. And I had to throw away my huge bottle of Lubriderm lotion. I didn't know that you can't bring big bottles of lotion. They think you're carrying, I don't know, shit in there. So I had to throw that whole thing away. I was so pissed. So we get on the plane, and the exact time that we're supposed to take off, the guy is on the intercom and he's like, so the flight is getting delayed. Sorry for your inconvenience. And yeah, it's gonna be delayed by 30 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, like I just really wanted to go and get there. Cause now I'm thinking, dang, now my cousin and her friends are gonna have to wait for me because I'm gonna be a little bit later now. So I text my cousin, I'm like, hey, our flight just got delayed by 30 minutes, so I might be a little bit late, blah, blah, blah. 30 minutes later, the pilot goes on the intercom again, and he's like, hey, we're having trouble with, I think he said, like one of the tails or something on the plane. So we're gonna have you guys get off the plane.
What did he say?
Or some shit. Mind you, so when I'm hearing this, I'm got anxiety about flying. So that kind of just shot my anxiety up. And I'm looking at Buster and he's not looking too shabby either. So I'm like asking him if he's good. He's like, what the fuck? And then that's when he starts freaking out. He's like,
what the fuck? Like, we're just trying to get there. Like, why do they keep having us delayed and blah, 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 blah.
Like, we can't change what happens. I get it. Like, I'm mad too. Like, I just want to get there. So now we're delayed even more. But I could tell like he was getting like nervous. Like he didn't like the fact that we was delayed again. And because of the wing on the plane or whatever. We have to all get off the plane and wait back in the lobby area. So we're all chilling. At this point, I'm about to take a nap because I'm tired. I've been up since 5 in the morning and I'm ready to just close my eyes for a little bit. Literally, we were delayed for a whole hour. Like a whole hour we were delayed. I wake up through my nap. I think I slept for like 20 minutes. I text my cousin. I'm like, hey, so we're gonna be a little bit later than I thought. I think my flight had said it was gonna land at like 3 something. So instead of 3 something, we're gonna land at like 6 or 7 p.m. So I'm telling her that. She's like, oh, okay. Just let me know when you land and then you can come to the Airbnb. And mind you, the plan was for me to go to the Airbnb with them when I landed, right? By the way, I told Buster this and he agreed. He was fine with it. So they call us back on the plane and finally we're about to take off. And oh my gosh, the experience, it was so like exhilarating. It made me nervous, but it was such an experience. I love watching us take off. Like, whoo, it was just so fun. I recorded it. Y'all can see in my Miami vlog, like I had so much fun. Even though it was a lot of unnecessary shit happening, like I still had a lot of fun. So the flight is smooth, the flight is great. Like, he's sleeping and I gotta hear him talking, and I'm chilling. I couldn't sleep on the plane because I'm just recording. I'm too excited. I'm recording. I'm like eating snacks. I didn't have a lot on the plane because the plane be taxing on their food. I don't know what it is about it, but they be doing the most. Like y'all, a cup of water on the plane should not be no $4 or $5. A cup of water that's this short. But anyway, I digress. So we finally land, and it's late. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I'm excited. I'm vlogging, and Buster's over there being a Buster. Like, just, I don't know. He didn't like the fact that I was vlogging everything. I'm excited. I'm in a new freaking state. I'm in Miami. I'm gonna film everything. I don't care. Text my cousin. I'm like, hey, we're here, and I'm gonna be on my way to the hotel. Buster over here turns his head and he's like,
so you're just gonna leave me at the hotel by myself?
like, it's late now. Like, I don't think you should take a Uber to the Airbnb. It's dark out, like, cause it was, I don't know, it must have been like 9 something. It must have been like 8 or 9. You're not taking an Uber in this state that we don't know at this time of night. I'm like,
Don't tell me what to fucking do, bitch.
that's why we have this tracking app. Like, I'm not gonna be by myself. Like, I can call my cousin and be on the phone with her until I get to the freaking Airbnb. It's not a big deal. But it was like, when he would say certain stuff, it would like embed in my brain, and then I would start thinking, oh, maybe he's right, maybe I shouldn't. So I text my cousin and I'm like telling her, because I did not want to hear him. I did not want to argue with him. I'm tired. Like, I'm excited, but I'm tired. We just had a long freaking flight. We got delayed by like an hour and a half. Like, I'm just ready to lay down. So I text her and I'm like, hey, so I'm not gonna be able to make it to the Airbnb tonight because Buster wants me to be at this hotel with him. My cousin looks at it and she just leaves it on scene. And I'm like, oh shit, she's mad. His hotel, the clock-in thing, like the check-in time, it was already like past that time. So I'm over here calling the hotel, like saying, hey, can we still check in? Is it not too late? They're like, okay, yeah, it's fine. So we take a lift to the hotel, right? The Red Roof Inn. And we get there, we check in, we go into the room, right? This room was the worst hotel room I have ever seen in my life. And that's where I'm gonna stop it for right now. Yes, I left you guys in a cliffhanger, but don't you worry, part 2 will be up in a couple days. The story gets way more juicier in the second part, so don't you guys miss it, okay? This video was over an hour and 30 minutes long, so I literally had to make it a part 2. Stay tuned for part 2, you guys, and make sure you like and subscribe this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one soon. Peace.